Hello, my name is Dennis Boyle, and I'll be going over behavioral characteristics of autism spectrum disorder that I have observed in my classroom as well as other classrooms around campus. I'll be talking about what those characteristics look like and some strategies that have been used that are effective or not effective. The first one I want to bring up is the students' responses to loud noises. We recently had a fire drill. In my classroom, I prep the students ahead of time because I know it can trigger behavior responses with the students. So I provide silencing headphones. I front load them, and then during the fire drill, I reinforce and give them positive praise for following directions as they transition their way outside to the safe area. Um, some things that I have observed in from the other classrooms is that loud noises can trigger behaviors such as students running away from the classroom or from the noise, covering their ears, crying, screaming, um, and just being proactive and having those tools, those silencing headphones, and reinforcements ahead of time is going to help decrease those behaviors. Another behavior characteristic that I've noticed with one of my particular students is the lack of social interactions and eye contact. I do teach a social emotional transition program. These kids do have extreme behaviors. However, there's other underlying disabilities as well besides autism with a majority of the students. Um, one of the one of the things I've noticed is my student with autism. Um, he likes to be on his own during recess. Um, when we have free time in the classroom or computer time or game time, he's he wants to do his own thing. Color. He has his coloring pages. He really doesn't interact with any other students. Um, and so something that we do on a daily basis is we talk about um, our feelings, and we do role playing, we do video modeling, visual supports. We teach social skills every day, and also another intervention that the student does receive or services that he receives is speech and language therapy to help with that. Since our classroom is a small class, we do have opportunities for small group instruction where the student gets to interact with not only staff members but other students as well to practice those social interactions and, of course, the eye contact. Another behavior characteristic, is stimming. With my student, every once in a while, he'll rub his eyes, or he'll pick at his hands. But this is known as like repetitive body movement, which and also every once in a while he'll tap his foot on the floor. Um, Other classrooms I observed, there's more of like pacing back and forth, rubbing body parts, like arms, legs, hands, full body rocking back and forth, slapping of the hands, um, and then stimming can also be brought on by sensory overload. So some strategies to help support students that are stimming is flexible seating arrangements. In our classroom, we have bean bags and we have rocking stools. Some other classrooms have the kick bands, like a giant rubber band that goes around the legs of the desk or the chairs, or even rocking chairs. Also, other supports or strategies to aid in calming sensory needs would be like stress balls or kinetic sand, weighted blankets, hand squeezes. When my when my student does get frustrated, like that pressure, a hand squeeze, or the weighted blanket really helps him calm down. Also, offering breaks, go for a walk, and not in my classroom in particular, but I know the other classroom, the autism classroom, Velcro. The kids will pull Velcro as an alternate support aid. And another behavioral characteristic can that I noticed is the emotional difficulties, where because students have trouble regulating or expressing how they're feeling in an appropriate manner. Um, I know in my class, students have extreme behaviors, so we see this quite often where they're not sure how to communicate, so they lash out in either yelling, flipping over desk, or showing self-injurious behaviors like head banging. Other classrooms I've seen biting or pinching, or students eloping from the class, crying. Those are just things that when students get overwhelmed and they cannot express their feelings, thoughts, ideas. These are behaviors that can be seen, that I've seen as well. So, some ways that we can best support these students that are having these behavioral characteristics that are effective. I feel that are effective are like taking breaks, having visual aids, letting know like, hey, do we need to go outside? Having a picture of like outside or playground. Also, PECS is a great tool. I've never used it personally, but the autism classroom uses it, and it does work. As most of those students are nonverbal, so they need those pictures to help with the communication. And then first then charts. This is great because the students, they want something. Well, first we need to do this, and then we can earn that. So it shows them like, okay, they have a visual. Let's do this, then we can do that. And then also teaching zones of regulation. We do this every single day. We have a morning check-in where my students let staff know and other students in the class know how they are feeling. So there's like the green zone, the blue zone, the yellow zone, the red zone, and pretty much the green zone means like they're happy, they're calm, they're ready for the day. Blue zone might be they're sad, tired. Yellow zone might be that they're silly, excited, wiggly, and the red zone is if they are frustrated, sad, angry, feeling out of control. So we talk about those zones on a daily basis, just to train their minds that there's ways to express how we're feeling and connecting those with visual aids as well on the board. But yeah, these are just 4 behavioral characteristics that I've noticed either in my classroom or classrooms around me, and some of the interventions that I've seen being used to address these behaviors that I feel that they have been effective.